All right, let's get right back into it. It's been a few months since I've actually streamed work on this, but I've been doing some preparation over the last few days uh, as part of because sorry, should actually explain what has happened over the last couple of months. I have started a master's in game design course, and so now I shall be leading the project on Rampant Reload, and we will be showcasing all of that development, or a lot of it, on this stream here over the next few days. And of course, I know one of the first questions, if you come and watch the VOD, is, why are you still using Unity? Of course, with the whole Unity debacle and stuff. And it is mainly just because it would be too complex to transfer the work that I already have from last year in Rampant Reload into the new engine like Godot. I do eventually want to transfer the studio's work into Godot, but for now, we will just be utilizing Unity, and I think the current build we're still on is a 2020.3.34. So if I remember right, they worked out that the old new pricing model would not apply to older versions like that. So even if we need to upgrade for maybe some new lighting models, and like one thing I've noticed, because I have been working in a newer version of this, is that there's some features within the newer Unity like 2022, such as like scaled blocking, which makes it kind of nicer to work with some variables within the Unity engine. Let's get over here. Also, all this music is from Pirate Software Heartbound Sing. That's one of the main reasons that's been a major motivator to get back into it. So thank you, Thor, if you ever see that. Of course, I probably won't. But so yeah, if you want to ever check out the OST, it is like, I think it's like $5 or something on Steam, and you can it's over 100 songs, plus some of them aren't even featured in the game, and so I just have it shuffling through here for our music selection today. I've heard a lot of them, but I haven't heard everyone, so I might be surprised by a few of these. Alrighty. So I also have built my board today. We were working on screen drag. Unfortunately, it looks like I forgot to charge my mobile device. No, it is charged. So we are working on getting some of the controls mapped into the phone here, which it's not wanting to turn on. Come on, you bugger. Should have got this ready before stream. Come on. Alright, well, we'll wait on that. There we go, it's turning on now. Let's get our code open as well. I don't remember if, because I had it set up a little bit awkwardly for showing this. Let's see here. Also may want to disable backgrounds just for clarity. Let me do that real quick. If I go into my extensions, background, just temporarily disable it. It didn't actually disable it. Open it again. Our device is turned on. Open that back up. No, it's not disabling it. Oh well. If I go into my settings JSON, I can just do this. Kind of a lazy way to do it, but it'll work for now. See, this is why you make sure everything is ready beforehand. No, we don't want Actually save that. That's good for now. And if we restart, there we go. And we can live with that one. That's the extension I'm using. At least it's a little smaller. And we're not even in the right folder. Let's get into that. But with our phone on, we can check out the first feature I built here, which was the screen drag. It needed a little bit of adjustment because it's also tied into what is also another part of our second sprint, which is the tapping to fire, which I believe you could still do with a mouse. In fact, what build am I on here? Oh yes, I have also changed over. So one of the things I did do in the passing months was I worked on, I can't actually do the rotating right now, was I worked on the shader. And so now this all uses a toon shader that I have built. We'll need to add on to the shader to do some bling fong lighting. Yes, we will allow USB debugging. This phone hasn't been turned on in a while, but I figured it would be better to use this one as like a permanent device, since my other phone was getting kind of iffy with the charger, although it seems like this one is too. So then if we go to Unity Remote on the phone, ooh, I might not have it installed. Well, we could switch to my phone real quick and do it. My slightly newer phone. In Unity Remote, I might need to enable USB debugging, but we will rotate it, turn off my things because it needs to rotate in the landscape. That's one of the things I need to code in still right now, is to force it to load landscape, which is really not wanting to go. There it goes. So let me disable this. That will help my overall bit rates. Yes, I need to do some adjustments to the connection here, I suppose. Essentially, I just need a USB connection to be on charging only, if I remember right. So I was testing this a few nights ago. USB device not recognized. And it's just not liking my connector for whatever reason. That's right, because it doesn't like it going through this part of the computer. So what we're going to do is sort through this cable nightmare. Come over here, plug this in to our main motherboard. This connection. And then hopefully that'll actually recognize it. I may need to restart Android Remote. Let's see, is it still malfunctioning? Well, if that's going to be the case, that's going to be a little hard to test what I wanted to do here today, but we'll figure this out. Get all these notifications out of here. Unplug it. Take my case off. Try to help out. Let's make sure my USB debugging is turned on right. So you gotta enable developer options in order to develop these apps for on the phone. Yep, debugging when connected. That's all right. So for now, let's just get our code open and start showing what we were doing to get the screen drag enabled, because we'll need to adjust our firing mode as well. We go back out into Rampant Reloads code. There we go. And then Let's make sure you guys can see it if I hit. I thought I had something to add on here. Maybe it's in the back one. Yeah. If I hit this. Oh, it's the source is not found. Hold on 1 second, guys. Is that going to show up? No. Let's go to the properties there. Here we go. So this is what I was just working on the other night, and this, if I could get my phone to work, it essentially steals all the code we were working on from quite a few months ago for mouse look, and it takes these roll vector axes, and because of how the touch input works, you can go and look it up in the Unity docs. You can just get the delta positions for when you're doing a swipe position, and that is essentially the same as an axis. So that right now is mapped 1-to-1 for looking around, and it works fairly well. So you would just tap and hold, and you start looking and dragging around the screen. The one thing that we need to adjust right now is that when we tap again on the object, it will fire the bullets. Which is not, we do want to fire the bullet, but we essentially want to, if you put in an input and start dragging, then we don't want to fire the gun. And I think how I want to do this is we're going to have a slight delay that can be adjusted, because I don't know exactly what the best number is going to feel like, because we just want to make sure that, oh hey, what up? Didn't see you there. But essentially we want to fire the weapon first, and then if it's like a 0.25 second delay, to see if they're holding it to adjust their screen position. And then I think there's going to be a bullet thing that's like going, I'm not exactly sure what is the reload spin is going to be like, because it's not part of the base 7, but it's basically going to be tap to fire. That will make it a lot easier to aim and utilize or play the game, because essentially you just get a tap and hit every single target. So let's see here. We need to go into, let's actually close this for a second. Is that button not working? That's annoying. Close that. So we need to go into the player. And inside the player here, I believe the player attack is what's going to handle shooting the bullets. So let's go in here. And right now we are using just hard-coded values, because this was written quite a while ago. This kind of needs to be updated to my current Unity knowledge, which I'll probably do that all off screen, because it's rather boring, you know, just kind of going through and typing in. Basically, instead of using this input, I think it's you essentially would still use the input system, but that's what you actually use. I think it's called user input, if I remember right, and then you can call generic functions, and those can be rebound, and it makes mapping your game really easy. That's something I was working on in my other project. This actually handles aiming. We need to do the one that handles firing. So this checks if I'm allowed to fire, which one of the checks is that if I have ammo in the clip. So actually what we might do here is we'll also add on the check to check the entire trigger of the animation. Oh yeah, this was to basically, let me switch my build here actually. Let you see what I'm doing. If I switch my build over, I'll be able to play it on mouse and keyboard. We go into build settings, wherever that popped up. I'm just being blind right now because I got 4 monitors. There we go. Here it is. I'll drag it over. Oh, you guys can't see it. I put it in here. You'll be able to see it. Boop. All right, so as you see, we are built in Android right now, so we'll switch back over to our PC build. So that way we can just use mouse controls. Makes it a lot easier. Not fiddling with the phone, because I guess I really should have got that set up before stream. But oh well. I was busy making sure everything else was ready. It takes a second to import and stuff. There's a hold on busy that I can see right now. There we go. So now, one other thing I need to do is go into the look route. And so I have that screen drag enabled. I need to enable basically PC controls and use our mouse look instead, which is essentially the same thing. It uses all the same values as well. And this just lets us actually move our mouse around, which my sensitivity is dog shit right now. Oh, that's because I accidentally set this one to a lower one. Yeah, 5 is like a decent. Then, so our main problem is obviously that it's just an instant fire right now, which I believe that will instantly destroy a target. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's another bug I need to report. The targets will move forward because I guess this was duplicated off of these purple ones, which that's another bug I need to report, that the targets aren't looping right. But if I shoot this one, it'll spawn in the right place. Oh, I gotta reload. Name of the game, gotta reload. Boop. So it'll spawn in the right place, but for some reason those green ones are just shooting forward whenever you destroy them. Alright. So, like I was just working on, let's add in the check for the touch, which I should really fix that button. Just do that real quick. It is this button. You need to switch out this one. And it should work, I think. Let's see. Yay! Okay, I fixed it. Just makes it easier for me to turn this on and off for you guys. So we're going to check if the input was a single touch. And then how we're going to do that is, I don't quite remember, so we're going to check the Unity docs. So if we go to Unity scripting, and then did I have something to show this as well? I did. Let's see if it's working right now. Probably not. This is kind of risque. Oh, it did the wrong one. Hold on. Properties. Okay, yep, that's the right one. I just need to turn this one off. And then here is the upper one. So in get touch, we can check if the touch phase is moved. So that's seeing if it is moving. And I think what we really want to do is we want to check if it's a beginning or an end press, which you can do with the touch type, if I remember, the phase. So the phase essentially describes, yeah, whether the touch has began, whether the touch is moving, or whether the touch has ended. So we want to check for a touch down and a touch off. We want to check if it's began and then ended in the same spell swoop, I believe. That's what my logic is telling me. So let's try it. So if the touch phase, I use this over in this one, so we're just going to remind ourselves how this works. Oh yeah, input touches, and then I think I could do phase. Actually, that might not be right. Input touch phase. Nope. Let's see, short-term memory loss here. Touch count. Number of touches. No. Touches. Returns that represent all the touches. I think we know we got a get touch to get a touch struct. And then we just want the first touch. And then there it is. There's the phase. Then we see if the phase of the touch is touch phase ended, canceled, stationary. The touching the screen but hasn't moved. I think what we might actually want to do is we want to see if it's began, right? And if if the touch phase has begun, then we will set a flag to see if to start a timer essentially, and then on another pass, we would check if that flag has been triggered. So let's just set up a temporary flag here, which we want to set this up outside. We will move this to the top, but just for right now, we'll have this just be a private bool floating above here. This will be quick fire. Quick fire time. It's kind of what this is. That's a little bit confusing, so I'm going to leave a comment here that says this is the time, or this is a flag. That might actually want to be a float, so that way we can store the time in that and then update it later, possibly. Which also, does this, if the can fire, yeah, we want this to be a true or false return. I was just seeing if that should actually go in bullet fired, but no, I think it stays in here. So this flag will check if the quick fire time set to true. If the screen has been touched and is still within the fire time before ending. So if it began, we're going to turn this on, right? And then if it started, we're going to run a timer. And that timer at the end will turn that flag back off. And then finally, the timer will end if the timer is still on. So if this quick fire time is still on, and the input get touch phase has ended, or maybe even canceled. So we'll do ended. For now, we'll keep it simple and ended. We'll come back to if it needs to be canceled later. Quick fire time equals true. And then this probably needs to start the coroutine. Which I'm struggling to remember right now exactly how you set that up. Which also, I'm sorry, I've been working down below. Gotta work higher up because it sort of cuts off my stuff to make it easier for y'all to see. Essentially, just add this quick fire time and add these two functions that haven't done anything yet, or not functions, but snippets of code. Why are you not liking me? Unreachable code. Oh, yeah. Yeah, but I know I got you. On 157. Oh, yeah. Wait, I don't know why. Actually, if I get that error, is it just complaining about this? Because it's not a real error. It's one of those half errors. It's not complaining about that. Oh yes, duh. It's because this will either return true or false before it leaves. Which is why we probably shouldn't check this in a campfire function. Well, first off, it was this one actually checking. It's checking if the weapon has ammo in the clip. So we don't even want to check this unless this goes off. So we'll just move this in here. That's what that really was complaining about. There we go. And we'll adjust either that returns true or false in a second. So quick fire time equals true. If... No, this is where it will start the secondary checker. Or, well, oh no, because the can fire will only fire once. That's... Let's go through with it, I suppose. See if we actually get anything out of it. Which also, I need to get my phone to freaking work with my PC. Or else we're not going to do much testing of anything. It's just really not liking the USB I'm using, I suppose. I'll need to go fetch another one in a second. This one work. Just seeing if I had another one lying around, because I was just doing this the other night. I don't know what happened to it. I might get up and check for that in a second. I just noticed how many frames I'm dropping. That's not good. Let's see if this helps. It helped a little bit, but not amazingly. I'll need to view how this goes afterwards. Regardless. We're going to reset this when the quick fire time has ended. And this will return true. Otherwise, it would return false. This gets a little bit confusing, so I'll probably leave some extra comments here as well. This isn't exactly the most elegant way to code. I keep on coding too low. And I have better posture. Good old posture check. Okay, let's see. So once we set that, we return true there. The only other thing we need to actually write is this timing function, which I thought I had an enumerator here that I can kind of remind myself how it works. My scatterbrain sometimes has trouble remembering how some of these things are set up. I think the sounds had some delay to it, possibly. Nope. Might be thinking of... Oh no, I'm thinking of my controllers. That's definitely the ones that have one of these target scripts are going to have it, I'm sure. Yeah, coroutine here. So you just iron enumerator it, that's right. This is one I did heard earlier. Kind of goes hard. I like the grungy sound to it. Alright, so we take our enumerator and we'll just make a yield return for a wait for seconds. Do I need to add? No, I don't need anything for library wise. Let's go back over to our player attack. And we're going to write a new function above the one we're working on.
we're going to make it a private enumerator. This will let the function basically be iterated over to start that coroutine. Or not really iterated over, but it is what lets it start the coroutine. I mean, it kind of, I can't quite remember right, but I'm pretty sure it basically is iterating over the list. Let's see, we were looking at this one. And then we'll return for the seconds. Let's call this quick fire time. No. It's basically the same thing as our variable name, which isn't the best name. This function is stalling our fire, or it is allowing firing for a certain amount of time between holding the screen. So I guess allow fire. Firing while pressed. Trigger countdown. I don't know. This is just gonna need. I need some better names for these. I guess that's what it is. It's a trigger countdown. It's gonna count down the time in between launching this target and whatnot. And we're gonna need the this public float trigger time. Oops. Then we're going to yield. So yielding is essentially what's going to actually trigger the coroutine part of this. So we'll yield to this wait for second function, and it will wait for the amount of time that we put it in there, and then return that value once the wait for second is done. That's what the yielding essentially does. And then, like an example for this code, we're waiting for that certain amount of seconds before we do something. And in this case, it will be very much the same. This will be where we flip our variable back to off. And that way our can check function might work, which I think I might need to move this section of the code to somewhere else, because this isn't a constant check. I believe this is only checked once when you actually fire, but we'll have to wait and see essentially. So let's go yield, return, new, but that is my theory anyways. And then it's wait for seconds. Trigger time. And then inside of there, we would... No, wait, there isn't no inside. I'm being dumb. Just cap that off with a semicolon to call that function. And then down here, this is where we return quick fire time equals false. And this is, so this might still work if we call the subroutine here. That's the thing. Because we'd come in here, we start the coroutine, it turns it on. It's still waiting for this for false. So then it immediately comes out, and because it's not an else if, it also checks this if. And so because quick fire time is true, but then it checks if it's either ended, canceled, or stationary. I think that's what we need to do. We need to check if it's stationary, not ended. Oh, but no, but is that going to result in instant fire? Let's see what this does, or if it even is implemented right. We'll go trigger countdown. And I'm calling it wrong. Yeah, I gotta call it as a function, so put those on there. And that should start that coroutine. And then at the end of that, it would change it to false. So if it's true, and its phase is ended, or it's canceled, or stationary. If those three are the case, then it would just fire every time. And obviously, there's like the 1 millisecond where it probably isn't. So yeah, this probably just needs to be checked every frame. But it's also an input get touch, so I could probably, what I want to do is, one of the things I have is, this is from a year ago, so I'm struggling to remember where it is, but I have a bunch of helper tag holders, yes. So we might want to extend these tags to handle working with both touch inputs and the other one. So I'm just going to do that for one little thing real quick, and we'll work on extending that. Also, let me check on something. Still not great. I might just want to stick to one or the other. So it looks like there might be a little too much on the bitrate side of things, but we'll see. Maybe that's just from earlier and it'll drop. I'll just gotta review it later. All right, so go into public. Ooh, 1 second, gotta blow my nose. Oh, sorry, blowing my nose there. Didn't want to snot out y'all's ears. Okay, let's see. So we're gonna make a new class. Now this, for some reason, this reminds me of that really popular, what was it, like Poppy's Adventure into, oh, I can't remember it. It was a really popular short that had just popped off a few weeks ago. I can't think of the name of it though. Anyways, so we're gonna add this input tag. And these essentially are going to hold. Oh wait, this might not actually be what I want to do. Yeah, because these are just holding strings. And what we want is for this fire button to work on both touch and... Let me try one more time to get it working, because I really want to test and see how this works. I think they might have mentioned that I need to restart my Unity to get this to work properly. Debug settings. Down in developer options. Almost should try wireless by debugging. Alright, give me 1 second. I'm gonna go grab better cable because it is just not reading my cable. I'll be right back. We got new cable here. Let's see. see if I get better luck with this one. No. There we go. It was just our cable. Always a cable. Let's close that, close that, close that. If we disconnect, replug. Well, this cable is a bit frayed. Oh, now it's not doing it? It was just doing it earlier. Come on. Let's see. We need to switch our build back as well. Let's try switching back here. Very Duck Hunt inspired, this song. Curious what section of the game this is in. I do plan on one of these off days streaming the demo and then maybe the full game as well. We have switched. Why is it not connecting? It was just doing so earlier. Nothing? Of course, I know the cable's frayed. Oh, and when the creepy music comes on. Almost ironically. Oh. No, it saw it for half a second. It's not going to connect, is it? Let's turn this back to 5 so it's actually usable. Oh, so it did see it for half a second. I need like some better USB cables apparently. Wait, I got one right here, don't I? No, that one's not right there. Oh. That one didn't work as well. So get this one out of here. Set it down there. Alright, well, there was another one that was just like this one. Let's see if that one's not frayed. Oh, no, but it still isn't working, of course. I grabbed 2 cables. Probably actually, I'll look into it after I stop streaming. But should probably try out the wireless debugging if it's gonna be any decent. Then I wouldn't have to deal with this problem. Nothing? It is the same cable. Nope, I'm getting nothing. Unfortunate. Alright, well with this phone on, Let's see if this one will connect. I still need to get the Unity app, Unity remote. On this one, Unity remote. So let's go ahead and start downloading that one. Let's see if it'll even connect with this cable. I'm not hearing anything from my computer. No, nothing. What is wrong with these cables? Please don't tell me it's my PC port. Oh man, this one's really short. I hope this one doesn't work, because that's not going to be fun to use. Let's see. Of course it works. Allow. We're going to let that install. Man, we're getting all the creepy songs. Yeah, we're gonna do a little fast forward on that one. Alright, well that's installing. I'll take a quick peek at my board here, because screen drag, while I can't showcase it because my phones are not wanting to cooperate with me, it is pretty much done. So we'll actually move that into the verify category. And then we're going to check on our GitHub or our Git bash for Rampant Reload. Make sure this is in the right branch. So with it in this build, let's change this over there. So that way it's on the screen drag. Does that not install? It stopped. Okay. Let's get this saved. And then we're going to, actually, let's do it in here so you can kind of see what I'm doing. We're going to want to add our changes from screen drag. And I don't know, it looks like I'm not ignoring meta files properly. Yeah. We'll need to edit our modifications for that. So our get message is going to be added initial, or initial's a filler word, so let's just go screen drag added working test adjustment or test fix for firing on move. Then we're going to commit that. And then I think we're ready to publish that to my branch. Oh, I forgot that to make it actually, because I'm using Jira to do this, and so now we're tagging these with issues. So I did want to actually make another adjustment here then on something. Let's not do our changes to public tag just yet. Let's go back over to screen tag. And yeah, we're not using any of this. That's just from those docs. So let's remove that. And then in order to... Wait, did text... Does this one actually get modified? Oh. What I want to do here is just have it back in the state it was. Which probably is just that I had an extra space there, yeah. So now it should be... like it was before? Like that? Oh, well. I guess we'll live with editing it. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I was just trying to get it back to how it was so it's not technically part of the commit message. Okay, so we're going to add back into the string drag, and then to actually do this, we're going to want to do RR-96. Because that corresponds with... Let me show you here. Our Jira board. So this is something new I'm working with. And this is what we'll be tracking a bunch of the issues and stuff. And I've this is still technically sprint 0, but I'll be finishing up the stuff here in the next couple hours. And then moving on to some of the other stuff, which technically I was working on. Because the firing system is one of these. Oh, another one is going to be fixing is... Might as well showcase this, which I... Will I be able to? I might not be able to, and I might need to switch some stuff up. If I go here, let me close this too. Close Opera so you can actually see which Opera didn't close. There you go. Yeah, it's not gonna work unless I turn on mouse look. Oh, and then firing's not even working because I guess we can see our air here now. Index out of bounds for get touch. So essentially our get touch is screwing this all up. What we'll do for now, we're just going to comment this stuff out. Which will still need to return true. And then we'll control comments, do control /. That should temporarily fix our error. So the other thing we want to do today is put a cap on our reload. So that way you can't reload when you're starting out. Because you can reload double times and start getting the reload out of sync there, so you can see. Also, I think the sounds for the games are not playing on the right audio source. Just because I need to adjust. I need to actually have the settings menu put in, which I think is part of mod 2, if I remember right, for how I got this all mapped out. Oh, and I just realized you could basically see the reload actually. Does it perfectly allow you to see the reload? Let me see. Oh, I mean almost. You can see how it screws up there, but let me turn this off that way you can actually see it. And actually be in the game. So if I spam reload, I can do it multiple times and just keep on spamming the gun. Well, that will be a pretty easy fix. All that should require is, let's get this back out. Oh, whoops, there we go. Which, let's actually commit our change we were doing here. Make sure it's RR96 to match the one in our board. Oh, initial screen drag function. Unfortunately, we can't verify that works because our phone's still... Is it still installing? Huh.
Well, if it connects to this phone, let's see if it connects to my phone, because this is the one I was actually having it work on. Let's see. Go Unity. Remote. Let's see if this works at all. Probably not. I had to guess. Is it gonna go? It usually takes a second when it was working. No. Yeah, remote requirements check failed. Because it's not in the right USB mode. When you connect it, it should be like, hey, what mode do you want to use this in? And unfortunately, I didn't notice where you could change that in the USB debugging section. Allow USB debugging. Oh, did my ADB authorization time out? I don't think so. Let's see what my PC thinks about where my phone's at right now. This is the one hard thing about mobile development, I suppose. My PC does not see my phone whatsoever. I can hear it connecting though. Oh, nope, now we got a USB connection error. It does not want to hook up. I might need to go get another USB cable. Like, where was the one I was using that it worked just fine with? Oh, no, that was. That's that cable. Just perhaps throw them back here. So I had just had this set up a few days ago. Oh, wait, here it is. All tangled up down here. Hey, where's this even going? Oh, that's not going to help me. That's a switch charger. Dang it. Well, oh wait, is it this one? No, that's the one I just set down that didn't work earlier. Why do none of my cables? Dropping shit on the ground. Computer malfunction. Doesn't recognize it. Oh, let me go ahead and see if I can find a cable. So I really want to test if my functions are working. I will be back in a moment. found the cable I was looking for. My God, gosh darn it, this don't work. Let's try it on the phone that was working earlier. It made the good noise and not the bad noise. Still don't see my phone though. Okay, there we go. So now, tap for USB MIDI. We change this to charging phone only. And once it's in that mode, then we can go back to Unity Remote. Oh, struggling for like an hour and a half all because I didn't have a cable that would work. But gotta love it. And then, if it doesn't disconnect, because I have a crappy phone, it has been dropped a billion times, so the connectors are worn as hell. It would show up on my phone. And now it's not doing it. Okay, flip the connector. Leave it right where it lays. Okay, USB for MIDI, tap options, charging phone only. Go back into Unity Remote. In fact, let's just reopen it. Search Unity Remote. Make sure we're building on Android real quick. Really? You gonna disconnect it on me like that? Wait, no, it says it's still here. Did it just switch? No, it says USB charging still. I don't know why I made that sound. Please, fingers crossed. Hope it works. Come on, show up on the phone. Hey, there we go. Okay. So, I don't know if y'all can see. I don't want to disconnect, but I can move on the phone. It'll actually do it. And I think I did put in a swap if I do double finger. Yep. And then the problem we're trying to do is... Oh! Yeah, it seems to... No, wait. I used to be able to fire if I tap once, but the player tac input thing is on now. So yeah, this is where we're running into the problem where it can fire. So if I close this out here and show, boop, boop, boop. Essentially, it is running this part because a touch face has begun. It's saying quick fire to true and it's starting the coroutine. At least I believe so, in doing all that. But it never comes back in here. This only fires once when I tap on the first time. And so it never actually comes back here to turn the quickfire event off. And so essentially, I think what that results in is that it just always reports false. And so the gun can never fire right now with this current implementation. But I can at least switch. I can switch guns with double swipe. But I cannot fire. So let's adjust that. Although that does verify that our screen drag is implemented. So what we could do now is get it merged into the main branch. But I kind of want to have this trigger function added on alongside it. So let's see if we can do that real quick. So instead of firing it in the can fire function, we want this. Oh yeah, I love the music. It is all from Pirate Software, and he had his artists. It's all for his game called Heartbound, and some of the tracks are not part of the OST, or not played in the game. They're only found in the OST, and I think it's a really reasonable price if you wind up getting them on he sells it on Steam, and then 100% of the OST goes to the actual composer because it was he's working. I think he's working 25% with an artist and 25% with a composer in order to do the art and the music for the game, and then he handles all the programming and stuff like that. But yeah, I've been loving the music when he was playing it on stream, and one of the best things is that if you buy the track to support it, then he allows you to use it in your streams and stuff. As long as you're not just re-uploading and stuff, because he wants to be a scumlord trying to get re-uploaded views. It's like, that's not ain't your content. Stop trying to pass it off like it's yours. Okay, we need to move the. I need to turn this off too. We need to move the coroutine to. Hey, I get worried about performance because this is all going to a mobile thing, but that's something I should really worry about later and just be checking right now. So in update, we have a weapon shoot. This is probably where we want the check. So we have an if can fire one. Why am I passing in something? It's a bit weird because, oh, for the ammo use, that's right. This is so checking for firing like a charge shot that uses larger big bullets or something like that. Give me a second. I'm gonna blow my nose. There we go. I have not been having a fun last few days, that's for sure. It kicked. This is a PC check. Just for now, we're going to run side by side. And we want all of this good stuff. Let's restore this back to how it was. And then in weapon shoot, when we check this every frame, we're going to check if we got a mouse button input for PC, but for mobile. Oh, what did I do? Actually, open that. Did it? Yeah, still pasted. We're going to check if the input was a single touch. And then inside. No, not inside. Essentially, we want to do. This is where we want to actually collapse this into its own function, into a helper function here. Let's put this as private as well. And this will be select the or handle the weapon fire for different animations or for different weapons. Oh, let's say private void switch weapon, or we're going to say handle shot. I think that's a good name. Handle shot. And we're going to essentially want to take all of this, put this in handle shot. Do a few shift tabs, put that back where it needs to be. And it's complaining it doesn't have a selected weapon, so we're going to pass in a selected weapon as part of calling this function. Whoops, a weapon handler. Still capturing the second idle transition, allowing 2 shots. This was my attempted fix edit. Obviously, play bullet fired. If the that's just allowing for multiple shots, I think. I guess this should be handle single shot. It handles only the single shots for that.
And it's just mainly tagging for either the hand or the nut. And then we're going to do selected weapon. And then we need to pass that in here and here. Well, not on the bottom here. If the phase has ended, but the quickfire time's still on, we want to also handle our single shot. I think that's what we want. Let's try it out, I suppose. Index out of bounds. Lots of index out of bounds for inflicted touch. It's still going. Oh! But we are able to fire like I want. Oh, but the hold still fires. So I do not want to fire when I turn like this. Also, it allowed me to go to -1 right there, but not past that. My reload doesn't work, unfortunately. Oh, I need to bind the reload, so when I tap this right here, that's when it should reload. Let's see. If we go ahead and open, this is where it's airing out from the get touch right here, because it's not finding the get touch. Which if I go and look, for example, finger stylus. How do I check if there is anything in get touch? I guess, oh, okay. Yes, that's why I check if the touch count is greater than 0, duh. Oh. Let's do this a little more smartly. Stealing some code from the source website. I mean, it's very simple code. I'm just lazy and don't want to type it. Why do you think I became a programmer? So I can do things lazily. I stole this one from somewhere. Oh, this is just supposed to also be tapped. So if the touch count is greater than 0, then we can actually use it, which, let's do what they do. Make a touch variable. Make our code look a little nicer. I gotta keep remembering. Can't see the bottom one there. Better for me because it keeps my back straighter and me looking up at the top of my monitor. And then hunching down like a goblin. Like the goblin I am. Alrighty. No, I think that will handle the air. I don't know if this is going to fix our issue, but it'll handle the air. Is it because we're not doing like a can fire check? I don't think so. Which also asks the question of whether this is what was actually working before, if it is this one. What we can do is, because I'm lazy and I don't want to see if we're arriving at the right place. Touch found. Good old print statements. Sometimes you don't need anything complicated. You just need to simply figure out if we're at the right places, doing what you expect. As those touch founds are coming through. Try to get over to my weapon. The fire still goes through there. I think that might have... Yeah, you can see I'm minusing like twice. So that's because I changed up my code somehow. Which I forgot to close. I keep forgetting to close VS Code so you can actually see the whole screen. I'll try to be better about that. But it's because I turned on this bullet fire. It actually gets triggered elsewhere. Not sure where elsewhere, but obviously it must be. I think it actually might be triggered in the shoot animation from the weapon handler. So if we go into references, obviously it's just been a while since I've actually worked with this, and we actually want to go to the definition. There it is. I think by setting this shoot trigger... No, this is fit for the animators, though. Okay, I mean, I don't remember, but it does. That is triggering it twice, so that is like my gut feeling from how I remember how I set this up. It's been a little while. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, now it's only minusing once. I don't want it to fire, but my hand is on it and it's still moving. There's no for a fire. Also, I just realized one of the reasons that probably is because we added in the trigger time. We left it at 0. We never actually set anything. So, which would essentially mean that it always fires at the very beginning. And this is in seconds, so let's try something like half a second. So now we probably want something a little shorter, like quarter second. That'll probably feel noticeable. Let's see if that actually has an effect. Swap weapons. It caught that first firing and it fired. I hadn't tapped the screen yet again. I forgot to turn this off. But that's not what we're wanting. It's fine if I... Oh! I got 2 fires there just from 1 tap. Interesting. So we want to check if it's began. And we're going to send a quick fire to true. And if we can't do it, then we set it to false. Oh, we set... Okay, touch begins. We set a quick fire time to true. We start a code retrieve for trigger code. Trigger... God, I can't talk. Where did it go? Let's check the helper function. Let's move this. Let's move these to more be in line with where they're actually doing stuff. Yeah, it's all this stuff. This is all helper junk for weapon trigger or weapon shoot. We start the trigger countdown, which will wait for right now a quarter second, and after that quarter second, that sets it to false. So in that quarter second where it's true, if the touch phase is ended, then we could handle the single shot, but not before. It's how it should work. I wonder if the PC check is interfering with this, because I know the get mouse button down has like a similar thing as a touch input. So let's just try this. Since this is our Android build, I also need to do a little bit of research, because I think if I do something like, I can't quite remember, but basically if I do something like this, and I would be like debug Android build, I can have code that only runs when I'm in the Android platform, and then code that only runs when I'm in the PC platform, which would obviously be really useful. I think ideally you'd want this separated into separate folders, and then over on like the Unity side, you would have those 2 builds, and you would say, hey, on this build I use mouse select, but on the other build I use screen drag. And that's how to easily manage one or the other. Luckily, I don't need to worry about too much on the PC one, just have it work enough so I can test stuff without having my phone connected, so that makes things easier for me, because obviously I spent like an hour a day just getting this to set up again, which obviously I should check beforehand, but hey, you know, sometimes that's just how it is working with technology. Alrighty, so like I was saying, let's go ahead and try just commenting out this stuff and see if my little hypothesis is correct. Now it should only check for the touch inputs, which I need to let me know again, give me 1 moment, so I will start running this. Also, another thing I want to point out is that you'll see over here that it's, instead of just teleporting these things, it's creating new clones, and then those are actually saying as existing targets. This will eventually cause object overload for my product, which is something obviously I want to avoid. But my selector is definitely too fast. Yeah, oh wait, I'm moving. I like, oh, it doesn't fire. Okay, there we go. That is the intended behavior I want. So you sit down and you start moving, and it doesn't fire, but you just do a quick tap. We fire. There we go. Let's see if I can actually show. Get a little preview going. Yeah. Oh, I think you can kind of see it. We move around, and if I let go, it doesn't fire. But we do a little single tap, we get fire off of it. These are moving so fast. This is why I think tap and fire should be another option. This is essentially the hard mode version of aiming. The delay is definitely not the best. I'm also super inaccurate, and I have no way to reload, because my reload is disabled on my PC build. It's a little weird. Alrighty. Let's see. So yeah, my hypothesis was correct then, that the input get mouse button down acts like the input touch begin end. Because I think it also triggers they're built on like the similar system, so it triggers the underlying command for get mouse button up and down, but there is no same analog for a mouse drag because there is no cursor. So essentially it's kind of like spawning a cursor on your phone for like a millisecond, and then it just disappears. And that's kind of how those input touches work. And I think that's why you can sometimes get the hold function that is bound to get mouse button down, right? Simulate right clicks. And that way, kind of, I'm pretty sure that's simulated that way, so that way when you're using something like Safari or the internet browser on Samsung, I don't know what they call that, that's the thing, just the internet browser, you can hold with 2 fingers or whatever to open something up with the right click function. I think. It's been a little while since I've actually done that bit of research to confirm that. Everything scattered everywhere. There we go. Move that up there. Okay. So with the tapping function done, let's actually, I think that will verify our screen drag for now, and we can go ahead and push that into our main branch, which I want to showcase how that is done through the GitHub thing. So let me change our view here. We're actually going to go to monitor 1. So this is essentially the same representation as the VS Code thing we were just looking at earlier, but I sometimes like using this instead. So we're going to add our changes, and then let's commit a message to it, and to have it work with Jira and attach we're going to say added initial shot function to phone, and make sure we're ready to push that bad boy. We are. So we are going to push that bad boy. We haven't set our upstream. So this is just saying essentially which branch we want to actually push this to. With that pushed, now we'll do it on the side here real quick, but then I'll fill y'all in. Go over to my branch. Ooh, I need to do the authenticator app. I already have GitHub Mobile, but the authenticator app would be good just as a backup. Alrighty, so we'll go into my branch here. Pull this over. You'll see I already did the texture fix as one of my branches, and this is the one I just pushed. And this is as part of our verify step. We're going to make sure, compare and pull requests. We're going to see if it says that it's able to automatically merge, so let's just check out what those automatic merges are doing. Some config files that I think these can be actually ignored for the most part, but I'm not super confident on that. Some changes to how values are calculated because everyone's CPU architecture may be different. That's especially a problem when you're working in a larger team, is that you'll need different, like when you're working in the same seed, they'll often have slight variations in the calculations, which can be fine, because you know, just a change in the float won't be too big of a deal. But it can end up causing merge conflicts, especially if you edit things within the scene and so it doesn't know how to quite handle those changes. And so it's often recommended that people work in separate scenes, even if it's just a duplicate of the other scene, and that way they can work with putting those two objects back together and not having so much of a problem with conflicts. This looks fine for now, from what I'm seeing. We're going to make sure that we're all caught up here, which we are. And so now that we've made sure of that, we're going to do another double check to make sure that with everything saved in that, we have our inspection functionality, which is the screen drag on the phone. And we can switch to our other weapon. And we can still drag and let go. It doesn't fire, only fires on tap, which is exactly the behavior we want. And look at that, we can hit our big targets there. Which I'm not allowed to walk because it's only on mobile. And that is part of that, how it's going to be, because we want the crouch function and then the deducting through, which I remember from my production schedule, that's going to be a little bit later on. But I would say that verifies that we have this working as expected. So let's add our pull. Screen drag functionality implemented. And in additional comments, we'll also say added ability to swap to new weapon with a multi-input swipe. And I like using markdown. It makes things look nice. I feel like we're getting animus a lot. It should be like 3 hours of music, but I feel like we're just let me look. Maybe this is just like another theme song, or there's songs that are similar to it, like From Memory. I know that one has quite a few different versions. No, it doesn't look like it's a repeat. I must have just been hearing it from Thor's streams throughout the days, because I've been chilling at Thor's chat, been enjoying those streams, that's for sure. Okay, we added the ability to swipe, and then added or removed firing when dragging only fires when tapped, based on timer and player attempt. That's it. Is that a preview page? Usually, yeah. I think that's good enough. We're going to create that pull request. It's checking. Prior approval. We have no conflicts, so we are going to merge. Confirm that merge. Well, now that should have closed our pull request. If we go back to master, well, now we're going to double check. Go switch over to master. Working how we planned it to. It needs a reload here. Saying that a few things aren't assigned, but it still has all of our old errors. Let's see. See how it be. Still running. Oh, but this ain't moving. Alrighty. So let's see what happened here. Did something not get saved quite right? If we go and look, yeah, our player attack doesn't have our changes yet. And I know exactly why that is. It's because we haven't actually pulled our changes. So if we go get fetch, we're looking at the local changes on our branch master. And I forgot that once I pushed it to that main branch, what we need to do is fetch the actual changes that have been made to that master branch. And so we know about them. Now that we know about them, we can pull those changes. So we'll just do a little get pull. And it aired out because it wanted me to commit changes that I already had, which there shouldn't be any changes really, but because of these like editor project cache files with the product being open, especially with this older version of Unity, this can sometimes be an issue. So what we'll actually do, because we're not worried about overwriting these files, it may cause a Unity crash here. Let's see. Let's see if I crash the program. Git stash our current changes. So now if we look at our status, we should see that there isn't anything there. Oh, but the cache file's still showing up, which may be a problem. We'll see here. Probably will be. Let's try to git pull and actually hit that. So that's not going to work. It's just abort out of that. Yep, it's not going to abort because of the reference to the stash file, which that is quite annoying. So we're going to try to do a git remove on this stash file, just so it doesn't, it ignores it and it doesn't worry about it no more. And I have to type out the full name. I'm gonna try cheat and see if I can say, hey, don't look at it over here. Yep, discard the changes, discard. So we're gonna see if it's still there. Nope. Why are you still looking at me? Removing them from, or trying to add to git ignore. Let's see if that worked. It did not work. Okay, no, I'm seeing them get added to the bottom here. This is why you need your git ignore files to be set up properly. So if we add our git ignore, it's still seeing these two files. That's weird. Git. I might need to close Rampant Reload actually. Let me try this first. Because if I push these changes, just to git ignore changes. Ignore cache files. Oops. I'm gonna push those changes to master. It should be fine because it's just a one git ignore file. Or not. No, because I need to pull, but it's not letting me. I might need a force pull. Let me look up how to do that again. I think it would just be with a dash F, but I want to make sure that I'm doing it in the correct way. Oh, they're talking about resetting the head. Yeah, they're talking about resetting the head, which I think would work. God dang cache files. It's so weird that I actually can't stash these other ones though. Because those files should be able to stash. but the other one doesn't. Oh wait, it did. Quickly pull. And then we're gonna have a merge conflict. Let me switch over so you can see this. So it'll be easiest to do it in here. So where are the merge conflicts? Also, get out of there. Oh wait, there was no merge conflicts. All right, so now we're in main. Took a second to get here, but now we're finally back in main. And we're going to be trying to see if our changes have been applied correctly, and then we can verify this on my project. There we go. We can actually move around, switch weapons, move around without firing. Still fired there. I wonder if I only lifted for like half a second. Or maybe there's another slight bug there with the first shot. But it seems to have expected behavior for everything else, which is good. So we will actually move that into done. There is a whole feature done. Obviously, we may need to come back to it to get it implemented with some other stuff, but at least move this over. Bada bing, bada boom. And then let's go ahead and work on getting this bug fixed, because that will also kind of tie into if I go into my timeline. This one. Oh. We're actually going to move this into sprint 0. I will finish up sorting out sprint 0 tonight, and I'll move it over once I'm done with that. Oh wait, is stories not showing up in here? It is now in progress. Will it be on the board now? Oh, it's not on the board. Do stories not show up on the board? They might not. I'm just messing with my GR program here. Show you what I am doing. I put it in here, but I think perhaps... Is this what I need to move in? Tap on the weapon to start reload. Yeah, it's weird. It's not showing up here. It only shows bugs and tasks. I guess stories don't count in that, even with their childs. With their children. Weird. I guess I need to, well, we need to edit how some of this is set up. Reload trigger before tapping, and then, oh yeah, the radial things. Tap on the weapon to start reload. Yep. Alrighty, let's get this off my screen and work on adding that. So, what we'll want is on the UI canvas, the HUD canvas here, this big boy. We'll want something that basically overlaps the player for a hitbox. Oh, we'll want this to be a button. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, we are going to want to... Is this actually tied to anything? I don't think so. So we don't want no text. In fact, we don't even want... a color. We want this to be completely transparent. Although, I guess for testing purposes, let's make it so we can slightly see it. And then we're going to want to reposition this boy to be locked to the bottom left. Zero her out. And then let's see where it is roughly. Where do we want this? We're actually on our second weapon. Now, roughly here to go positive to here. And we're gonna want something like that. Something like that. Might want to use a circle because we might want it to map better to the weapon itself. But for now, this box will do just fine. So we want roughly 250 by 250, negative 300, and 100. Two fifty, maybe 150. 125. Here, halfway there. So now we got that little bounding box for the button. So now that we want to be able to slide it over the button. Yeah. Alrighty. I'll hook up this button now. This will trigger an event. Which this will be the reload event, which is being triggered by something else right now for that. So let's go and grab that. Believe it's, yeah, it's its own script here. It's just checking if the key code is R. So you can see the code right here. And then it's saying it to the selected weapon and doing the reload animation. Oh, oh man, I'm almost out of my drink. In fact, I'm hitting the 2-hour mark here, so I might actually go and get a refill on my drink real quick and go take a quick bathroom break. I will be right back. ID, I am back. I have honored Palmer. Keep me company. Keep this throat moistened up. Simple thing we could do here is just do a check. If the button was clicked, but then we need a reference to the button in this reload, which may not be the way we want to do it. We're going to rename this to check reload instead. Oh, wait. Before I do any of that. Before I do any of that. We're still in base one? Yep. Okay. We are going to transfer over to our new branch. I'll check out -B for new branch, and this is going to be handling RR23 for a tap on the weapon to start or reload. Reload button. Just call it reload. RR23 reload. Yeah, no, let's go with reload button. Be a little more descriptive. Okay, check out that new branch. So now all our changes will not affect our master branch in case we screw something up really bad. Okay, now we'll rename this. Let's go back over here. Rename this. And we'll do reload. Or check reload. Which we want to rename it here. And then we're going to do a public function for reload weapon. And this is just going to run these two things like that. And this is so. Oh, I forgot to make this actually a function. There we go. So now with this function here, we can go back into Unity. And on this button, on the button, we can add reload. On the player reload function, we want it to do the reload weapon, but it's not showing up. Why is it not showing up? I may need to look that up on Unity real quick because I don't remember. Probably need to add something to it. Unity event. Doesn't need to be specified as an event trigger, right? Maybe it does. Event functions. Are they not public? No, this is something different than that. Unless I just call it by name. Let's see. Unity button Mono script.name. Oh, it needs to be the game object, not the... So just the player then. Let's add it this way so we are adding the right one. That's why. Okay, there we go. I didn't want to access the script. I wanted to actually access it this way. And I can see all these. There we go. We'll activate the reload weapon if it is clicked. Which we also need to, if that is happening, we need to let's just see what it does for now. But my main fear is that's going to trigger other things I don't want to, like firing and stuff like that. Random fire again from the first switch. I need to disable the fire track for when I'm switching weapons, I think. I think that's the main issue there. Okay, let's see. Yep, it does the fire, but then it does the reload. Well, we need to disable firing when I hit the button. I pull VS Code up. We'll go back into player attack. So, in our can fire function, we need to also check that the weapon manager is not playing the reload. Okay, current anim tags. Let's see if that fixes our issue. Because it should have, the button fire should reach before the other one, I think. Come on, get the switch. Oh my god, it's so annoying. We are random fire. Let's see. Nope, we still fire when we reload. Oh, adding the reload trigger right there doesn't quite get us our intended behavior. So we want this trigger to be checked somewhere else. Maybe checked in the weapon chute. You know, I just realized that there isn't even a call here to check if it can fire. There wasn't even a check to see if this was allowed. Although, it didn't... I don't think we were allowed fire at 0, so... It might be calling the one above, still. Instead of the one I'm expecting it to. Let's see if that changes anything, though. Oh hey, it didn't shoot. Still have our one-tap fire. We still have our move around. No fire. Still fires on the reload, though. That is progress, though. It fixes one of our other bugs. Oh, we added can't fire to that, so that way we're checking, but the problem is that it's not playing the reload trigger fast enough once we reload the weapon. Yeah, it's not playing the trigger fast enough. If it's not, if the ammo is greater than 0 and it's not playing the shoot trigger and it's not playing the reload trigger, then it can fire. I mean, that makes sense to me. um. Whoops. The problem is that this is just going before it has a chance. I mean, that doesn't make sense though, because it should be all the way down here. That's handling single shot. So is it shooting? No, because then the reload should have been triggered first. Not necessarily though. Let's see here. So what I was thinking of doing though is we will add our weapon or our reload button. Oh, I think that would be a button type. And this would just get to attach reload button component. Oh, but that's not actually attached to the player. It's in the HUD canvas. Do we have a reference to the HUD canvas here? I don't think so. Yeah, well, we could find it through tags, right? Oh, it's actually not tagged. Alrighty then. I shouldn't reference it like this, but I'm going to. Just to get stuff rolling. Dot find. And we are going to do something that I don't like to do, which let's actually add in a public string for this. It is the HUD. I guess location, hierarchy location. HUD canvas. Position or folder. Let's go folder. Reload area. Oh, we're gonna go into tutorial scene. Which actually I don't even think we need to go into the tutorial scene. I think we just go HUD canvas. Game object, find, reload area. I can't type. Okay, why are you still mad at me? Oh, because I didn't do a cast. Get components. Button. Man, my typing skills are not on it today. Okay, there we go. Oh, with this reference to the reload button, we could come down here and check. Trying to look for like as is clicked function. Might just need to look it up again. Interactable, no. Is active? That might be the one we're looking for. No, I don't think so though. Is invoking. Yeah, I need to look it up because I can't remember. Okay, Unity buttons. Unity button on click. We have enabled, is active and enabled. Image. Type of transition. No, not type of transition. I need like an is clicked function, not on click. Well, this still may not work because it may be that the other one is just too fast. I need to slow it down somehow. I'm not seeing anything that would be helpful here in the docs here. For like an is clicked. There's gotta be something though, right? Like maybe the enabled. Enabled behaviors are updated, disabled if not. The variable that's triggered when on clicked is task on click. Yeah. No. Let's see if someone will help in the forums. Uni button. Okay, it's a dot click. At least that's what it's saying. Wait, maybe not. No, it's because it's a listener function. I thought it had a function though or a property that would be that would say it's on click status. Let me go look back at the code again, see if I can. Yeah, it's non-invocable. Why can't I think of how to do this? Okay, I can think of one way, maybe. What we'll do, we'll make a public bool. Maybe capitalized. On clicked. Or is clicked. Is reloading. So it'll be initially set to false. Can I add another one? Maybe not. So I know there's other functions like the what's it called? On deselect and stuff like that. That's kind of what I need here to change is reloading back to true or back to false. I guess let's go to implementation. Go to definition. Whoops, keep on clicking the wrong one. Definition. Nope, it's not taking me there. Oh yeah, because it's part of this one. When it does a reload animation. But it's just going to set the trigger. And that's not going to actually, it'll turn it on and then back off again. Yep, send to HUD manager. Okay. That's right, and it's a fire action. I'm just familiarizing myself with code I wrote over a year ago, don't mind me. I keep on clicking the wrong button. Actually, I might not be able to. I need to go to the fire action itself. Right. So our subscribing for the event handlers. Change. Yeah, this public bool thing's not going to work because it's not going to have a way to turn off its reloading trigger, and then it'll never fire again, basically, because the reloading it'll think it's always reloading, even though it's done. So we could set our triggers all I want, but also, is this where we want to check for fixing that other bug that we also put in here? I think that might be, but we won't worry about that right now. Just for a double reload bug. Yeah, the reload button isn't going to do much here. Maybe if we check if the reload animation is happening here. Instead of in campfire. That shouldn't make a difference though. Or would it? Because campfire, it should be checking campfire, yeah, right before, right here. So it's definitely not in the reload trigger yet. Man, that sucks. That's how I want it to work, not how it's supposed to work, I suppose, because it works how I have it set up. It's all on me. It could definitely be the hard thing about programming. It's that you know the computer's just doing what you told it to. This reload trigger. And yeah, I really don't want to overcomplicate this by having it need a reference to the reload button. I really want it to just be if the trigger is over. An animator. No, that's their local thing. Wait, why do I have two reloads triggers? Oh yeah. Set for both the hands and the gun itself because they're two separate models. Oh, what is that? Like swirly thing there? Has that always been there? Wait, huh? It's saying like these buttons are like linked to each other somehow. That's weird. Oh, and then what if we instead we send at the same time a cancel to the player attack? Which, let's not forget that it needs to be the actual player objects. Uh, could I cancel the invoke on bullet fire? Because really what I'm wanting to cancel is shoot animation. I don't know exactly how that cancel invoke works. Let me look at Unity. I've never used it before, but this I imagine would cancel invoking that function, no? If I called it right. Yeah, cancel invoke launch projectile. So I could cancel the invoke of the anim shoot animation, which I think because I don't have tags here, I need to actually write out the physical invoke tag for reload or for shooting. Well, let's go look at our tags. So it should just be shoot weapon that we're cancel the invoke on. Let's see if this works. I'm kind of doubting, but also hopeful. Shot fired. Let's shoot a shot just to get it out of the way. Then reload. No. Damn it. Yeah, it's 2D syncs or something for that to actually work. Can fire, then it will fire. But it shouldn't be able to fire if you are reloading. Oh, it's no way because I'm using the wrong tag, right? It might be. Honestly, I'm kind of grasping at straws here. Supporting anim triggers. Fuck. I don't think this is going to work, but we're going to try it anyways. Said the madman. Oh, now it's not even. Now the reload trigger just doesn't work at all. You know, it doesn't work? Nope. Alrighty, don't put that in. Weird. But it still works with this, yeah? I mean, it works in the bad way. Oh, nope. I broke it. My button doesn't work no more. Wait, why am I... Do I add that code in then? For the button? I suppose so. New event. Touch button handler. Try calling this one. Let's see. Place that with these. Which we need the interfaces for pointer up and pointer down. And then this is an event system thing. So that should tell us now that whether the button is pressed or not. And it's still complaining at us for one reason or another. Oh, that's why. It has stolen my semicolon. There we go. Okay, with our touch button handler, now we have a variable that we should be able to access. What? Hey, accidentally click on the wrong shit. Alright, touch button. Whoops. Yeah, those seem fine, so we'll just save that. Save everything. Make sure these two extra changes were added to this commit. Alrighty, then commit that. And we go back over here. We will go ahead and push that change. Nope. I'm forgetting because I set up this new branch just earlier. Need to set the upstream, which I think there's a shortcut where you do like double dash U, and I think that basically says set upstream. And that should be published. Yep. And we will go into my thing. Refresh. And let's go ahead and do comparison, which also my timeline's a little screwed up here. Yeah, I'll need a, that kind of really sucks. I made them all as like child tasks for working on sprints, but it seems like they prefer you to actually make them as tasks and then connect them to the stories that way. So I'll need to go through and edit that on my production schedule, but we will do that later since there won't be any real code changes, any interesting stuff going on. Implemented. Take a quick peek. Oh, did we get through all of the music? We did. Oh yeah, I guess it's 3 hours of music. So there might be a few songs that might mean that I can't post this VOD. That's alright. It should be mainly like C418 and Toby Fox stuff, which should be fine. Although this one I might skip because it's a Disney song. I might actually have it set up to where, at least on Twitch, because when I was doing it back then, I had it set up to where the stream songs don't actually show up on the VOD. Oh, nice. I see you're chilling in both now. Hell yeah. I'm glad Andrew was able to help you find this. I plan on doing this a lot more often now, just because I want to get this game all produced up by month 6. And right now, I'm working on the legal things so I can have some other people come on and help me, and then they could also come in and discuss the changes in the chat as I'm working on it. But we will see, because I don't want to screw over any extra developers, but I also want to make sure I'm signing over their copyright properly. So I gotta do some extra legal work to make sure that's all good. this looks fine, so we will go ahead and create our pull request. Just going to check if it's available, which it is. So we are going to